Fearscape Media Network, exploring the unknown, one podcast at a time.
The SCP multiverse is under constant assault, and destruction can come at any moment. Therefore, having just one database is a folly the Foundation can no longer accept. Join Dr. Kevin Milgram and SCP-073, Cain, as they create an oral history of the SCP Foundation, in Memories of Cain, an SCP story, hosted by Daniel Doremus. For should the Foundation fall, the unkillable first murderer of man will live on. New episodes drop every second Wednesday of the month on the Fearscape Media Network. Visit fearscapemedia.com for more information.
Hi friends, this is Kelly with Wishful Drinking and Binge Thinking, the podcast where I get just absolutely hammered and I dole out psychological advice. That's right, I am going to be more drunk than that girl you met in the bar bathroom after your karaoke set who said, "You have such good stage presence, oh my god." That's right, zero preparation, multiple drinks, countless profound gems. Tune in the last Monday of every month on Fearscape Media Network.
Coming to you from nowhere, a suburb of parts unknown, your ghoulish hosts for an evening of terror, Stefan Gearhart and Lance Wayne, the Misters of the Dark.
Good evening, dear friends, and welcome to a very special St. Valentine's Day edition of Misters of the Dark, the greatest horror podcast in the history of horror podcasting. As always, we're beaming directly to you from nowhere, a suburb of parts unknown, and I'm your headmister, Lord Stefan Gerhardt. What the hell?
And I'm your co-mister, the man with no name, Lance Wade. Stefan! What the hell is all this crap?
Oh, you mean the porcelain hearts that are adorning our hallways on Valentine's Day?
You mean the porcelain hearts? Of course I mean the porcelain hearts! Along with the naked cupids hanging from the ceiling and the champagne fountain!
Well, I guess I could have overdone it a bit, but Lance, you don't understand.
I don't understand. Try me.
Okay, well, I know you might find this hard to believe, but I think I finally found my Misses of the Dark.
Wow, Stefan, that's great. Who's the lucky gal?
Well, she's a film star.
Uh-huh.
She's well-versed in the dark arts.
Yes.
And she's the subject of today's film, The Love Witch.
You want to run that by me again?
Yeah, I'm awaiting the arrival of the Love Witch herself, Elaine Banks.
How is that even possible?
Simple, my dear co-mister. Through the use of potions, a little razzle-dazzle, and the postal service, I invited her to the dilapidated mansion for her sweet dark hand in marriage.
Yeah, Stefan, you do know
that what, it's too soon?
Well, no, that it was just...
What, just a schoolboy's crush?
No, Stefan, that she's actually...
You'll never see her.
She's here!
Sorry to bust your bubble, George A. Romeo, but that's actually Memories of Cain narrator Daniel Doremus. come to discuss the film starring your betrothed.
Oh, demons of death and hell, take thy beak from my heart.
Idiot.
All right, welcome. Thanks for coming over, Daniel Doremus.
Oh, don't be such a dick.
Yeah.
I'm not mad
You guys
at
have
you,
been
Daniel.
such, like-
I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad
Well,
at the
thank you.
situation.
Thank you for not being
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Look
I'm glad you're here. I like your podcast, and I like the way people are like scared and shit. That really stands out to me.
Me too. Whatever that was supposed to mean.
I like scary shit.
It means that I'm finally doing my job.
Yes.
I found little to no success as an engineer, so maybe, just maybe, I can freak out enough people that I find a platform.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And which is funny because Lance and I have found little to no success as podcast hosts, so we're actually becoming engineers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, but it takes
We
two
can
of us
just-
to do your job.
Yeah.
All we have to do
gotta-
is swap our mojo, and eventually we will become this amalgamation of finally a singular, useful human being.
Well,
yeah.
all I have
Kind of like
is
the
a-
Megazord.
Yeah, well, all I have is a action figure of Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls. So
I had a Megazord.
That's a good place to start.
yeah, so
it's-
we can swap that after we swap some spit. No, thanks for
moving
thanks
on.
for coming over to the dilapidated mansion. I'm glad the townsfolk let you through. They have not been letting people with any hair on their head through. I don't know what's
Interesting.
going on. Yeah, they
They
do
don't.
some
They don't
weird
take.
stuff.
They don't take kindly to the Jewish community. Let's just say.
And you look so much like the Jewish community that we were like, y'all gotta let him through. All right.
Wait. He's not.
No.
Get out. Get out.
The man.
Okay.
Just because the
I
man
own a
has
yarmulke.
a Jew
I do
fro.
actively own a yarmulke.
Okay, then. Okay, come back.
good
in,
enough?
Come back in.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's good enough.
Okay, are we going to talk about this movie though?
Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, if we have to.
yeah.
I did notice that you guys decided to paint the outside of your little mansion purple. Really enjoying it.
right.
Really liking that touch.
surprise. It's actually human blood. It's
Oh,
just
that
the way
makes
the
sense.
light hits it. Yeah, it makes it look purple. That was totally
Oh,
Lance's
shit.
idea.
I've been
If you
listening.
put
to
a
lot of
black
print.
light up to it, you're gonna see some writing.
Yeah,
Fuck
I put up.
yes.
I've been listening to a lot of Prince lately. I've been watching Purple Rain on a loop for like the past month, so you'll have
Yep.
to forgive me.
Yep. I've been listening to a lot of Barney and Friends, so you'll have to hang out
Okay.
with me.
I can see
Anyways,
the
let's go ahead and
influence
talk
there.
about The Love Witch. Again, thank you, Daniel Doremus, host of Memories of Cain and SCP Podcast. We love that shit. So we all have recently watched The Love Witch, and I'm going to go ahead and say I loved this movie. It was
Right? Yeah. I really like this movie.
especially
I like-
Lance after the last
gosh,
movie we had to watch. Oh,
That's it.
God.
That's what I wanted to bring up. It was a good palate cleanser
right
for the shit we had to ingest.
So,
the
of
other
course, for those listening, spoiler alert,
of
this
course.
is definitely not one of those movies that are so bad we watch it for you. So if you're really, really wanting to follow along with us, I recommend stopping the podcast. We'll still be here, and then go watch The Love Witch on Amazon
Yes.
Prime and,
Yep.
and check
Yep.
it out, and then come back and follow along with us. Or if not, if you're one of those that likes to read the book first, listen to our audio book.
Yeah, listen.
I'll be
Um,
her. I'll be the love witch.
You are my
So I guess that makes me the cop, yes?
Yeah, you're the cop.
Investigating your various.
Oh man, I want to
tunnels
be
of
the college
love.
professor. I'm totally in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, this movie's called The Love Witch. It's a 2016 American comedy horror tragedy. I will also say feminist propaganda, especially learning about the director, Anna Biller. She's a huge feminist, and that was part of her process there, was to show some feminist stuff in there. But she not only did she direct, but she wrote it, she edited it, she produced it, and she did the damn score for it. I mean,
Oh, really?
Anna Biller
Damn.
for the win.
Really?
The
Basically
film
a
stars
one-woman show.
Elaine Parks,
Yeah, really.
who we love. She's a modern day witch who uses spells and magic to get men to fall in love with her, with disastrous results. It was shot in Los Angeles. It premiered at the International Film Festival Rotterdam. Damn, I can't talk. Rotterdam. In May 2016, it was acquired for distribution by Oscilloscope Laboratories, which is a really great film production company. Seen a lot of great, not just horror and sci-fi movies, but some documentaries and stuff like that coming from Oscilloscope. So
One thing I'm gonna tell you, that they had really good marketing, and because honestly, up until maybe a day before I watched this film, I had no idea it came out in 2016.
same.
I thought it was like some lost
I legit
obscure-
because originally it was on Shudder, and it just flew right in with those like Gallo films and like the Italian
It looks
kind of
straight up like a 70s
60s,
film.
70s
Yeah,
British
so cool.
satanic panic type shit. Like I was like, yeah, I mean the cover of the poster, everything. It only had a limited release, which in my opinion is a shame. It was a limited release in the United States, November 11th, 2016. The very, very cool thing about this film, and this is something I noticed, and that even 10 minutes in, I was like, was this really filmed in 2016, or did they like reproduce it and they're like saying it came out 2016?
Mhm.
Because it was shot on 35 millimeter film, and it's like
really?
That's why it looks so good.
Yeah, it is
Gotcha.
the last film in the United States to be shot on 35 millimeter.
Oh, no kidding.
That connects a lot of dots, actually.
Yeah, it was
That
printed from
really
an
made
original
the
cut
aesthetic come
negative.
together.
I mean, they went old school on this, like used like a Technicolor type process, the whole
Oh, yeah,
nine yards. And the one thing that critics are acclaim about it is that it was a playful tribute to 1960s horror and Technicolor films. It was combining serious inquiry into contemporary gender roles and shiz like that. Yeah, it was really cool. I don't have a how much the budget was, but I'm gonna say very limited, because if Anna Biller is like doing everything, she probably did this out of her own pocket.
Yeah, out of a
probably like
passion
went into her
project,
dad's
yeah.
garage and was like, "Hey, are you gonna use this 35 millimeter film? So
Yeah. You
mom's
have a
dead
tape
and you're
deck?
not gonna film her anymore."
I really need to borrow that tape deck. It'll really bring the sound together.
So, but it did end up making $246,000 box office, and so I think that literally
that's not
just entails what's made on the limited release, not like what it's made off of Amazon or Shudder.
I don't think.
Yeah.
No.
The movie was surprisingly longer than I thought it was going to be. Ended up being 2 hours, but shit, those old 60s, 70s movies were quite long like that.
Well, and it did. I don't know, man. It seemed like it breezed by real fast.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I didn't mean it like that. It's just that when I saw it, when I saw it there, I saw, oh, it's 2 hours. Wow, wasn't expecting that. So because most of these indie films tend to be like 80 minutes because they don't have a budget. So
yeah.
You can actually watch it for free on a streaming site called Vudu, which is how I watched it.
Oh yeah, Vudu. We
And,
love Vudu. Yeah.
There were a bunch of ads. There were like 7 different ad breaks, each of which were like 2 minutes long. So if this is a good movie, y'all, if you want to get the most out of it, you kind of should find a release that doesn't have those giant breaks in it.
God.
And if it's on Vudu, it's probably on a couple other streaming sites, maybe even YouTube. I haven't checked because, of course, I saw it right on Prime. But yeah,
I did. As did
I would have been totally okay even with commercials, because good God,
Still a good
loved
movie.
me some Elaine Parks, man.
Oh, me too.
Definitely a pace breaker, though.
Oh God, what a beautiful
dreamer.
Oh God, that is my dream woman. I'm just sorry, Darcy the Mail Girl. I love you too. But...
I love her too.
Like I never got it because she's like giving all these dudes drugs, and I'm just like, you could just give me a Capri Sun, and I wouldn't,
You could give me some nails you clipped last night, and I'm like,
oh
yeah,
my God,
let's do this. I mean, I collect nails from victims anyways. So
you can give me that tampon. Okay, we digress.
Yeah. Well, let's start. Like I said, immediately off the bat, the film quality, the music, the costumes, everything immediately off the bat strike the chord of legit 60s, 70s satanic witch type British Italian gothic horror, right? The film opens with Elaine. She's our witch. She's our main character. She's driving to Arcata, California to start a new life after the death of her creepy ass husband Jerry. Creepy ass.
Gosh, he was
And his little montage to go, like, anytime we flash back to Jerry, kind of looks like a montage from the old Batman 66 show. Like the way the colored lights hit him, and he's like,
was really good.
Like, what an ugly dude. Like, right off the bat, I'm like, honey, you already didn't need Jerry.
You could do better. Just come see the man. See the man with no name. And,
and so
or the Lord.
Right. And so at this point, we know that more than likely Jerry's either been murdered or just died mysteriously, or the same thing. We're not really sure. But when she's there, she rents this amazing fucking apartment in a Victorian home owned by Elaine's mentor, Barbara. Which is all already, so Elaine's mentor obviously is into pagan witchcraft, Wicca stuff, which we'll talk a lot about. And so the place is already decorated for someone who happens to be a witch, and it's kept up by my favorite character, the interior decorator, Trish Manning.
Oh God, I don't know.
I loved Trish.
I love Trish.
So my favorite part about this movie is actually that you can really tell that it was a spoof, and a not so much a spoof, but a celebration of those 60s, 70s movies. Because basically any of the characters that are not currently involved in witchcraft or under the spell of society are normal people. And your first introduction to that is this interior designer. She is such a normal, standard person. She puts on such a wonderful performance to give a stark dichotomy between the normal world and the Wiccan world. It's
well, and to even
that one little bit
to go back a little bit, one of the things that was actually jarring at first was that, and at first I was like, man, this is really fucking low budget, because here's Elaine driving in this like old 1960s, 70s car. There's this whole like Jerry looks like he's in the 60s and 70s. Even the cop car, you're kind of like, looked a little newer, but we can let it slide. And then all of a sudden you see new cars everywhere, and you're like, what the fuck? And it was really jarring at first, because then I was like, when is this fucking set? I was really confused and really kind of mad about this at first, because I thought it was just poor, like they didn't even try. Like, they had a low budget and they didn't even fucking try. But then you find out that it's later on, not later on in a movie, but just researching the film, that was on purpose. Because again, like Daniel, like you were talking about, it's another way to differentiate between the two worlds. A lot of times the people that exist in Elaine's world tend to live in that 60s, 70s mind frame. And even so much, when she starts fucking these dudes, they kind of flow into that mind frame as well. And they kind of fit much, for example, the professor who ended up having an older car, and things like that. But yeah, at first it was really jarring. Especially later on when Trish busts out a damn cell phone. I was like, wait, what? Like it.
Oh, did she?
Oh yeah, because
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, when they're at dinner and she leaves the ring behind. She calls her real quick to say, "Hey, you left your ring behind."
I was bewitched. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
But yeah, I will tell you, that was hard for me at first. That was really jarring for me at first.
I want to get into this though, because while I was watching this, I was like, I want to hear Stefan's take on this. But as far as the how they depict the witchcraft and paganism, things like that, how accurate is this?
I planned on talking about that quite a bit. There is a lot of accurate stuff and a lot of bullshit stuff and a
I
lot of
figured.
stuff that is real, but
I
is
appreciate
not
that.
Wiccan in any way, shape, or form. It is a part of other types of traditions and things like that, and they just kind of mixed. But we'll get into that when we really start talking about that. But yeah, I mean, I definitely paid a really big close eye, especially since my path been on solitary, where I've done my own thing, but as well as traditional Gardenarian, the original Wicca. I've been a part of that as well, which is a lot of what you saw in there. But yeah, so another part, we get, so Trish, who's showing her around the place and all that stuff, Trish is like, hey, let's be friends, and you want to go get some tea, which I thought was funny because she's British. Like the actress that plays Trish, like, I swear I've seen her in 100 movies.
That's what I thought. The same exact thing.
Didn't recognize her from anything.
I mean,
she
maybe
kind of
just
had
has
those
one of those
pouty lips,
faces.
like
So when
Joey
you-
Lauren Adams and stuff like
So
that.
when you actually looked her up,
Yeah, I couldn't find her.
so when you looked her up, you didn't recognize anything?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah. I think like
Yeah, I
one
could've sworn
thing, she
I've
was in
seen
like
her
an
in so much
episode
stuff.
of something, like, and I'm like, could that episode have really stuck out to me? Like, because it looked like from something from a couple years ago. She's done some like voice work, but I'm like, her face. Then like my other question is someone who has like traveled the country and Canada and stuff doing improv, I'm like, does she do improv? Because I've been to a million festivals, and that a lot of times if I look on IMDb and I can't figure out where I've seen the person from, I later find out, oh, they're on an improv team out of so and so, and I saw them at this festival perform, yada yada yada.
That would be pretty
That's
cool.
happened because they're all actors for
Yeah.
the most part, So,
I didn't know you did improv.
Yep. I do the make 'em ups.
The make 'em ups. That's what I call improv from now on.
We should, the old make 'em ups. But yeah, so they go to this Victorian tea house. So again, this is where like you're still like, when is this set? You're still kind of trusting the idea that more than likely it's set in the 60s, but then
it's
you're
so
obviously
fucking Victorian.
recognizing this homage to like the Gothic Victorian setting of a lot of these older films as well. So I appreciated that.
They even had a harpist in the background.
Yes.
Weird.
That's automatically what I thought of.
It's so fucking... It's so fucking Victorian, so fucking pretentious. All of the women are dressed in these fabulous gowns.
And
fabulous!
Elaine
Just kind of saunters in a suit.
Yeah.
It's just like...
Oh man, and yeah,
Once
that
again,
harpist,
showing
she
the
just
break
shows
between
up
Wiccan and
randomly other
society.
places as well. But yeah, all the musicians in this movie, do I have things to talk about? I mean, at least she legit looked like she was playing the
gosh.
harp.
Yeah.
Which we'll
The
talk
Ren
about
Fair
the Ren
was
Fair.
hilarious.
Yeah,
utterly
that-
loved the
oh
I
Ren
can't
Fair
wait to
scene.
talk about the Ren Fair.
That random
my
fucking
God.
red fair in the middle of nowhere.
But yeah, at this point, like Elaine's like, I'm just so tired of being single because my whole life revolves around men, and I just don't like being alone.
That's how you know this is a film.
Yep.
It's when she's bitching about the
Right. I mean, I'm sitting there and she's just like, oh, wish. And then Trisha's like, yes, I have a husband. His name is Richard, and he's quite amazing.
Yeah.
And
I keep
then-
him on his toes.
yeah. And then Richard shows up to this place.
Uh-huh.
By the way, this is for ladies only. Like,
God, he's such a
do
weird
women
dude.
have shit like this where they go? It's like secret Victorian clubs, and it's like Jane Austen time, and they're just like, like when they're like little girls are like, I want to play tea time, daddy. It's like, do they continue that when they get older? But like, no men allowed. Like,
I have no idea what the hell
Honestly,
you just said. To be
I
honest.
love this headcanon.
At least
The idea that there is just a secret society of women spread out across the world that just come together and celebrate tea time in these fabulous
Celebrate.
Victorian dresses. That is a world that I want to
eating
live
fucking
in.
finger sandwiches.
Yeah, just celebrate it. We don't know about it. Stefan, you need to talk to your wife. She may be part of this.
So yeah, I'm going to.
Oh, hey,
if
an
anybody
excuse to
would
break
do
out
it,
the drag.
she would. But yeah, so like Trish doesn't
I'm gonna have
realize
tea
that
time.
Richard is there, and you can tell right away. He's like, who is this beautiful woman that is?
Well, no, but honestly, the way I picked it up was she's doing it just as hard back. And I'm thinking,
for
and like
sure.
Daniel said, this is a
Oh, yeah,
goofy
100%.
looking dude.
Oh yeah, I mean this is like
goofy
goob
dude.
Uberson, which, by the way, I feel like he also looks like the detective, but like more goobery.
He was like, yeah, he was almost like the Bizarro.
I thought they
version.
were the same person for a while.
I started thinking that too.
That I thought the guy who pulled over Elaine at the beginning.
Right. So I'm glad you said that, because I thought at first that Jerry, the cop that pulled over Elaine, the detective later, and Richard were indeed the same person in like different makeup and stuff like shit like that.
So
I kept waiting for Richard to show up. I just kept waiting for Richard to show up. Like I kept thinking he was like going to be. I even thought he might be the fucking jester at the Ren Fair. I thought that was Jerry. I kept waiting for Jerry to show up. Like
that'd be pretty good.
What were you saying about the cop?
Good.
Jerry's dead. Jerry's dead.
100%. Jerry is actively dead. That the cop who pulls Elaine over at the very beginning, I am fairly certain, is the detective in the middle and end, because the cop car has a bullet hole in the side of the door. Like where the hinge is, there's a bullet hole on both that cop car and the cop car that they go to check out the house after they meet up with.
Did you know?
Yeah, holy shit. I don't even know my own name.
That was the first.
Jesus.
That was the first thing that I noticed. I was
too busy going, I think that's a 1990s
Are they ever going
car.
to explain that?
In the words of your people, Daniel, oy vey. I mean, come on. I don't even know where I'm going to work half the time.
I'm trying to look right now because I want to know. But yeah, I didn't even notice that because I was too busy going, well, that's a 90s car. This looks like it's set in the late 1960s. Like I didn't even
I don't know shit about cars, but I do know a mild bit about set dressing. And so like when I knew that I was going to be talking about this, legitimately mild. I am movie deficient in most ways, but like I was paying attention to all of this stuff because I knew I was finally going to be talking about a movie with people, so I wanted to be mildly intelligent and have an idea of what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, I'm looking on IMDb, and I do not see a role for a cop. And trust me, these roles are in here like witch, you know, priest, shit
all the
like that, bar patron. So I feel like it would say that. It does say in terms of the second cast in credits order is Griff Meadows, and I don't know if they did that in the order of how they were seen on film or what. But man, now I want to go back and rewatch that first scene and see if that's freaking Griff or not, man.
I just want to say, I love how we almost have a hierarchy right now of things that we were paying attention to in the film. How it's everywhere. Daniel's here saying, well, the bullet hole matches up with he's very precise. Stefan's like, well, they were all 90s cars, and you know, that threw me out of the film, and I'm like, there was a really cute brunette with boobs.
Going back to the car scene for a little bit longer, the first thing that I thought that I saw that was not a thing is I thought Elaine had no pupils. Throughout those first like 5 minutes of the film, I did not see pupils in her eyes, and I thought that was just
notice a damn bullet hole
for a Wiccan.
Yeah,
so I was
just got them
there
dark eyes, man.
Staring
really
into her
dark
eyes, going like, where the fuck are your pupils? Are you supposed to be human? Are you supposed to be an alien? What is going on here?
I know. They had to have done something. Because, I mean, even just like working on the thumbnail art for this episode, you know, because Stefan's seen it. It's just a picture that they used her in the advertisements. I would just find myself just like staring at it because she almost didn't look human. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
think they did something.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like I said, there is a lot of legit magical stuff that's in here. The stuff that they use is legit. So there, if you believe in this stuff as I do, there's a possibility that maybe they did indeed use some sorts of spells or things like that as a way to influence, right? If one believes in that
sense.
Stuff. So, yeah, I'm over here. I'm like looking at you, but I'm still looking over at the poster right now. Like I keep looking over.
Oh my God, does she have us?
I think.
Are we in her? Are we in her claws? Oh my
think so.
god!
I am fairly certain we have been since the moment we started watching this movie.
Yep.
And it's gonna be a while until we forget about her, if we ever do.
If we
No, I never will. I'm such a pathetic slob, or whatever.
as I'm drinking from this piss-filled bottle.
So, Stefan, if we find a witch's bottle in either of our mailboxes, we know not to go looking for Lance. He's in a better place.
He's in a better
Yeah,
place.
exactly. Let just put me in an unmarked grave. I'm doing good.
Speaking of unmarked graves,
What a transition.
so we get to
It's an
meet
important
Wayne
one.
here. So Elaine, of course, right after Richard leaves and all that stuff, she performs a ritual because she wants to find a new lover. And immediately outside of the Victorian weird thingy, she sees this bearded Indiana Jones professor type gentleman
A
named Wayne.
sexy man in his 50s.
Right, talking to some hot
The prime
blonde
of his
co-ed as she's sitting there. This is where she's eating her sandwich, right? Is this where, or is that the
Yeah,
other?
Oh, yeah. And she eats it so fucking weird.
Yeah.
She's like
Yeah.
so prim and proper and
Yeah.
doing these tiny motions.
She doesn't.
But,
She doesn't so much eat it as she nibbles.
Yeah, and dude, obviously this literature professor from the local college who's talking to obviously that's one of his students or his aide or whatever. I forget what.
Oh,
we
yeah.
figured out.
No, it's a student. I think
It's
it
his,
is. A student.
but I think
yeah.
it's his like aide, his class aide. But anyways, like he sees
No, it's a
her-
student. I'm right.
He sees her, Elaine, and just turns from this bitch and is like, dude,
Immediately.
like in the middle of a
Yeah.
conversation, and is like, I gotta roll. Don't let the door hit you where the Lord split you. Just go. And he just deuces her, man, and just walks away from her,
Yeah.
and goes right over
and
to
the
old sandwich
TA
eating Elaine.
is pissed.
Yeah, yeah.
You
she's
can tell
super
immediately that she is hard for this guy. And
yeah.
he just immediately said, fuck this saucy bitch. Let's go for the new shit.
pissed. Yep. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
obviously there's a tad bit of foreshadowing in there. Like, we know that she's going to come back later on. But essentially they have this conversation, and of course Elaine's talking about love and this and that and wanting to go out into nature, that she's new here in town, and of course
And
she
she
like
does this cold read on him to like
Yes.
figure out what he's about. And it's
yeah,
like, if
and you
you've
gotta
ever
say
seen cold
it
reads
is a
being
cold
done,
read. Like
Yeah.
this is not her having done research, which is what it feels like. I mean, she nails it.
Yeah.
something ritual magic.
Right.
Well, she has remembered there for when she first sits on the bench, she has like a little what is it, internal monologue.
yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, people often ask me why I want to be a witch, and I mean, it's like, it's such a little kid answer too. It's like something a 5-year-old would say. It's like, I just want powers. I mean, that's like all she says.
Right.
I
well,
feel
and that's
that though.
and
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
come
I
on,
mean,
who
it's-
doesn't just want powers?
It's interesting because there is a huge like dichotomy of her own personality, because on one hand she is indeed saying, she wants to be a witch, she wants to get her power back, she wants to be this, but then on the other hand she's basically saying, I've always been told if you want to keep a man around, you need to love him, less than
unconditionally,
you,
give
unconditionally.
him everything.
Yes, he
Yeah.
needs someone to take care of him, and things like that, which really leads into our boy here. What's his name again? Wayne, right? And so she reads Wayne, and she's like, "Oh man, you look like somebody who's into nature, who likes to get away from it all." And he's like, "Yeah, I do." And she's like, "I bet you have a house somewhere out there, some sort of cabin where you can just get away." And he's like, "Motherfucker, I do." And she's like, "Why don't you take me to your home? I will cook you dinner, and then we gon' bing bang boom."
Yeah.
And of course,
And I really appreciate
yeah.
he just immediately goes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
And I'll be honest with you, like the other dudes that like kind of go under her spell, you could legit tell they're under her spell. But here, she didn't need any spell work up to this point.
No.
Wayne totally
not at
still
all.
would have been like,
she does the
no.
spell work later.
yeah, obviously
yeah.
he's like hitting up his TAs, you know what I mean? Like, and we find out later he was all
Mhm.
about free love and all that stuff.
Promising
Yeah,
some
yeah.
better grades.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So they get groceries and they go to Wayne's cabin. She makes a badass dinner, dude, with some
Yeah.
fucking fat steak, dude.
So I want to pause before we get to the dinner. It's really funny because like directly after the inner monologue about giving men all the things that you want, she takes Wayne to his cabin and he says, let's make love in the car.
Oh,
like
in the
we were
car.
children."
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
And she doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm just sitting there going
Right.
like, wait, this is against your own immediate philosophy that we established not 10 minutes ago.
Right, she
What's
totally
your
acts like a
game here,
prude at this
girl?
point. Like, she's not even letting him kiss her. Like, she's just like, I want to make you dinner. Let me make you dinner.
And she hands over the flask, which is obviously bad fucking news.
Yeah,
yeah,
bad.
obviously. Especially when
Obviously.
he hands it
Bad
back.
juju.
Like, I want to see you drink it all. I'm like, don't do it, dude. Don't do it. Which again tells me, I'm like, was there like, so there was like a number of different spells happening with Wayne, because you had the initial love spell which attracted Wayne, but then there's the one that is in this vial and possibly in the food and everything else that he drinks, which is this spell that we find out later, that gets him really sick and needy. But before that though, like they finished the dinner and she's basically like, okay, we're done eating. I'd like you to fuck me now.
Oh my God.
And Wayne damn
Not
near
even done eating.
jumps
They're like,
over the
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
coffee
yeah.
table, just fucking knocking shit over. He's ready to pound town.
I was just waiting for him to go, are you for real?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So she's derobed.
Wait, didn't she though? Like at the very beginning, before they even went, he's like, wait, what? This is really happening?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it like
Yeah,
So
I was just too busy looking at the lady.
yeah.
as soon as they're in the car, he is just immediately, yes, we need to do this now. I am only letting you drive for the sake of getting somewhere that we can do this.
Yep.
Just
Wayne
please,
is
oh, please,
ready for the
please,
sweet
please,
pain
oh,
of
please,
rain. But yeah, so they totally, get it on, and she can like read his mind, and because he's basically, basically talking about he's a free spirit. He says, I don't usually fall in love. Like, I just want you to know, I sleep with a lot of people. This is the thing that I do, and all this stuff. And then
This
of
is
course,
the thing that I do.
yeah. Then
This
of
is,
course he's like not feeling well, and after they have sex and stuff, and he's like, what was in that drink? And she's like, oh, nothing, just some berries, some alcohol, and some hallucinogenics.
It's hallucinogen, yeah. And he's
of
cool
course,
with
and
it.
he
Yeah, and then
gets
he's like,
so
oh.
fucking excited.
Yeah,
He's so
like,
into
yeah.
the idea that he just got drugged.
Yeah.
He
Anybody
is
else would
totally
be like,
down for this shit.
yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, oh my God. Oh,
He's like-
it's the best
Yeah.
day ever.
He's like, I'm usually one that roofies people. It's weird that it's
Yeah.
happening to me.
I'm getting sex and free drugs. God.
Yay, the 60s.
Then the tide turns. This then is when Wayne's not feeling good, like I said. He starts not feeling good, and then he starts feeling like he's in love with her, but that he needs her. And
Yeah.
he starts motherfucking getting so clingy and so emotional and starts crying.
It turns into
Like
infatuation.
screaming.
Like scream
Yeah.
crying.
The entire house.
In which Elaine's like, ew.
Yeah. I mean,
She's just sitting there in the
Yeah,
living room, drinking her whatever the fuck. I'm like, no, I don't like
she
this.
straight up. She says, "I wanted a man, not a pussy."
Yeah. And I'm like, bitch, you did this to
I
Wayne.
thought the same thing. Yeah,
You literally. Isn't this what you wanted? A
Yeah.
love who would never leave you? This is you cast this spell. You did
Yep.
exactly this.
You did this. And she ends up hanging out though and stays down and sleeps on the damn couch while this motherfucker is screaming for his mommy.
Mm-hmm.
Screaming all night long.
And
for his
Elaine has
mother.
become his new mommy.
Yes, and
Yeah,
she does
yeah.
not want that. Even though in the morning she wakes up, decides to make his ass some breakfast, which again, if there's one thing I can say about Elaine, man, she looked like she can cook.
Yeah.
Like, but she makes him some breakfast, goes upstairs. He don't want to eat. He's just too depressed He don't want to believe because he believes he had a nightmare.
Just wants her.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so he thinks everything that happened the night before with him screaming and stuff was a nightmare, and she's like, it wasn't. It was you being a little bitch.
That was you, dude.
At least that guy went out in a blaze of glory, though. I'm just saying.
I mean, I guess.
I mean,
his blaze of glory was not how he died. His blaze of glory would have been dying during the sex. Instead, he had to agonizingly and cry like a little baby all night long.
Oh, he got served breakfast. Big deal.
He didn't want the breakfast, man.
Which that scene, I've got to tell you, that I never thought there would be another uneaten breakfast scene in a movie that would piss me off as much as this. This pissed me off. That she gives him a full, delicious-looking breakfast. And in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, it's the same damn thing. He spends half the opening making that breakfast, and he takes like 2 bites of Mr. T cereal.
Mr. T cereal!
Yeah.
I love Mr. Breakfast!
But anyways, she leaves him the breakfast. Like, she don't even hang with him. Like, she's still like, eat your fucking breakfast.
She doesn't want him.
I'll be back in
She
like
doesn't want the
15
pussy.
minutes. So she comes back later, and his ass is dead. Which I'm surprised by. Again, I'm confused because I'm like, was this not part of your fucking plan? How fucking like rookie amateurish of a witch are you? Like, because you act like you're like been a witch for a long ass time.
Yeah, she's trying to act like some top tier shit. The first thing she does when she comes into town after getting her apartment and hanging out with Trish is to go to the local witch's shop and try to become a supplier of candles and other ritual materials.
Yeah, soaps and natural stuff.
She thinks she's some big shit witch, and it seems like throughout the entire movie she's just continually fucking up her magic and doesn't understand what she's actually doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the weirdest thing happens next, though. So the next part is he's dead, and we don't know what's going on. And then we see her peeing into a bottle.
Yes. Yes.
And immediately I'm like,
you do.
did this just turn into a Golden Showers 70s pornography? Are we about to pay homage to 70s porn? What's happening right now?
Oh, I hope so.
Here's the thing. If it has to be this way, I'm willing to accept it.
But yeah, so she pees into a bottle, and then she like, oh, I'm bleeding. I guess I'll use a tampon real quick. And then she goes ahead and takes that tampon and puts it in this bottle, which we of course find out is a witch's bottle, which then tells me she had this planned because she had to have known she was on her period to have made this happen and known he was going to fucking die. So I'm super confused.
Like, there's levels to the planning, and it feels like in some scenes she's like hyper aware of everything that's going to happen, and in other scenes it's like she has no idea what she's even capable of.
Right.
So,
I almost wondered if she was schizophrenic or like multiple personality type disorder, or if like Jerry was like in her brain, like, or something, is like what I kept thinking.
It almost feels like when she is in emotional distress, she's much more competent than when she's in her, reverse that. When she, after she has made the decision, no, fuck this guy, I don't give a damn, she seems much more competent than when she's all, oh, I love him so much, I need my love. It's this really weird jumping back and forth in her personality.
But yeah, like, I'm just like, does she know what she's doing? You know, like, for example, like, you know, so first of all, I just want to say, why does she have a wig that is exactly the same hair and length of her hair?
That's
and
what,
color
yeah,
of her hair? I guess it just made her have a fuller head of hair, but it made me wonder is that if she was in the wig, was there like this transformation, right? Like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde? Was there something along those lines? Because, you know, later on when we talk about Trish trying on her stuff, you almost wonder if there was a transformation taking place. And so that's what I was wondering at first, but no, I think she's just discombobulated in life.
It's not stark enough
to feel like they're trying to push this broken personality narrative. There's not enough of a difference, and we don't see her often enough without her wig on, so it's hard to really get a gauge. So it does really feel as though it's legitimately just emotional distress, and the wig is just like a part of her aesthetic that she feels like is necessary to be a witch or something.
I guess because I don't know.
Well, if you remember, it cuts back. It may have been, I can't remember if it was before she meets the teacher or the professor or not, but you can hear, there's like, she's hearing voices, and one of those voices is of her father.
Yeah.
So,
I forgot about that.
Yes. So I mean,
maybe the schizophrenic hits there that she's hearing.
Well, I don't think it's. So
I
much
took that as
schizophrenic.
just memory.
Or just like you said, emotional trauma manifesting. That way.
Yeah, and I mean it's just weird because at parts, it seems like she has a clear understanding of what she wants, and then once she sort of gets it, she's like.
And I guess that's where some of the problem for me happens, is that I'm, you're, as a viewer, she's the eyes in which we perceive the world. And so like you kind of pull for her, you want her to be this strong person, especially after what happened with Jerry. And then when we have these moments of weakness that goes against this whole feminist idea, which is where I really want to kind of spin that idea back again, is that there's this battle, this debate going on almost in her head over feminism versus, the old ways of just being submissive and stuff. Like and I think she's just torn. She doesn't know how or what to be, because, with Jerry, she tried to be those things and Jerry still turned out bad. So, and now here she is with Wayne trying to do it the other way, and it turned out bad. Like he became the exact opposite of Jerry.
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I
kind of like that.
I kind of got it as, and I mean, there's those people that they're just addicted to love.
Yeah,
might as well face it. but that's a little anyway. But I mean, that's honestly what I really take away from her. I don't think she knows what she really wants in the end.
And she's trying to force these men through magic to feel that way. And we really see a lot of that with Detective Griff, even his own struggle with it, which is really interesting because she keeps picking these guys that don't want to be in a relationship. I mean,
well, I don't know, because she doesn't use magic with the detective.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, you see that though, like you see that happen, like him talking about, I mean, again, she wants these emotionally vacant guys. Like, she's expecting, again, she's falling in love with what she's seeing and what the magic is giving her, because it's what she thinks she wants, right? And then she's finding out it's not what she wants. If this were not a horror film, I think if this were a rom-com, she would have ended up with someone, that didn't fit the bill, right? That
actually fulfills her.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
But speaking of which is the next one, because Trish decides she's got to go to a couch convention or a furniture convention, wherever the hell she's going. And I just don't know how Richard is going to take. Oh, wait, she's British. I don't know how Richard is going to take. Pursy lips. And are you all right? And of course, Elaine's like, I'll make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
and we're already like,
your husband.
We already are like, Richard was the first person she had her eyes on before even Wayne. And but at the same time, I'm like, at this point, I'm still with Elaine. Like, I'm still like supporting her, and I'm like, oh, she just has made some mistakes, blah 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 blah. But now she's about to fuck over her best friend, and this is where I'm like, all right, she has no morals. She is in this 100% for herself.
Yeah.
And she doesn't care because she essentially goes and seduces Richard.
I also feel like we probably should talk about the coven that she's joined at this point, because a lot of her worldview is really entrenched in the teachings of this coven, and the hypersexualized leader that really does seem to be doing this entirely for his own benefit. And
I will say, the Coven itself seems to me to be a pretty standard amalgamation of like Gardnerian Wicca, Alexandrian Wicca, which are pretty similar. They're just a little bit different. And Anton LaVey's Satanism. There's a lot of elements of all three of those kind of mixed in with this Wiccan cult. And they continue to use Wiccan, but Wiccan is white magic. So much of the dark magic and stuff that is used here is just not something that's used in Wicca. That's why I'm like, but a lot of that was used in some of that black magic cults, like the Satanist Church and some things like that, some other offshoots and stuff like that. So, but again, this was that idea of what all that shit was in the 70s, right? All of the movies always had that dude with the giant pentacle, either right side up or upside down, because they didn't know that there's a difference. And just like shit like that. But one of the reasons we, because they're supporting her, by the way. A lot of these flashbacks where we go, which, so one thing to say, all three of those coven types that I just talked about, they do practice skyclad, so they do practice in the nude. So every time she was only partially nude, I was like, that don't make sense. Like, you don't. The whole point it was really weird that there were naked before the gods, right? But it's like you want to be humble before the gods. That's the whole point. Is there is that sense of humiliation and things like that, and it's just so that was odd, so weird that there would only be like two ministers, two assistants that would be in the nude. One man, one woman. Yeah. Okay, I kind of get that. But then the rest of the coven would be in robes and be dressed, even the leaders of it. So I as part of my Gardnerian heritage, I am oath-bound to a lot of stuff, right? And I do believe that, even though I don't practice much Gardnerian anymore, I am oath-bound and I don't talk about it. But one thing is like when you're in your first year and you're kind of learning stuff like that, you're in robes, right? Because it's a huge leap to practice skyclad. It's a huge thing. But again, like I even was like, well, maybe that's the high priest and high priestess and they're nude. I'm like, maybe I could justify this but no, they weren't even the high priest and the high priestess. They were just they weren't. Yeah. No, because the old dude was the high priest there, like jumping on top of her and stuff, like. And so I never understood if he was a healthy male role model or not, because I don't think he was. I saw this. I thought he was taking advantage. Portrayed as unhealthy. Yeah, he was really portrayed as someone who was preying on these people. Well, he's making them work, and strip. The burlesque club and all that. Yeah, not that I'm knocking it, But, well, again, here's another thing on feminism, right? Should a female be okay to work, in the sex industry and things like that? Should their body be theirs, to gain power? Like, there's this constant, like, power struggle. Yeah. And I love it. I love that the director just constantly even makes you, the audience, question the path that she's trying to put you on. Like, it's really fascinating. She does a really, really good job. Yeah. But I wanted to still not also sure. It was also really cool that the sexuality of the Wiccan Coven and the sexuality of the secular citizens was pretty much equally explored. Yeah. Because we got to see the various rites of the Coven, and then we got several scenes in this burlesque club showing like the ways in which secular life and Wiccan life do overlap. Right. There's and especially not an extraordinary difference in human experience. Look how men are weak and bad at the same time is also on the table. During that burlesque club scene, we don't forget we also meet Moon and Star, the almost twin blonde girls. The Gemini. They represent the Geminis. Which is to say something that which Gemini's a whole. Two sides. Two sides, which is what we've been saying has been this underlying underlying theme through this whole thing is that there are two sides to every massive issue, especially this issue of witchcraft and feminism and love and things like that. But I wanted to say real quick, because one thing to move on to Richard here, one thing we didn't mention is that the reason she decided she was going to screw over her friend Trish and go with Richard is because how obsessive Wayne was. And she thought that since Richard is married, he would not obsess over her, even though she creates a love spell for him to fall in love with her. Like, here she is again, not understanding that it's going to make him not be in love with Trish.
Yeah.
And he, of course.
The other interesting thing is that, like, the leader of the coven, I forget if it's here or when she's going after the detective, like, could smell the love magic on her and actively tells her, I don't think you're ready for that.
Right,
So,
but then later on assists her in doing it.
it's
really strange.
it's really interesting.
But yeah, so like they're together hanging out, and she serves him a concoction just like she did Wayne, and seduces him with a dance, which thank you. They end up having sex, and no surprise, but Richard becomes obsessed with Elaine, causing her to be like, I don't want this. This isn't what I want.
See, I have my own theories about how she picked these certain men.
All right.
Because I believe the professor, I believe with the professor, I believe she was really just saying, this is somebody I want. I could see. Because if this movie, if it's shown us one thing, she doesn't make the best decisions. She doesn't. she's very impulsive.
Impulsive, yes.
Yeah, and I do believe with the professor, she was just like, okay, I'm in this new town. This is the person I see myself with. I'm
right, because she immediately assumed, hey, this is who the love spell brought me.
Yes. But after she's a little disheartened, I can't say that word.
Disheartened.
Yes, by that experience, she's like, well, I just want a boy toy. I'm just gonna have some fun. And then that's Richard.
Right, that's why she wanted Richard. Yeah, she thought that he would.
She just. I mean, there's even the part where they name drop the film.
Yeah,
she goes, I'm the love witch.
Well,
baby.
and that's also what the name of her little company is, where she makes her little concoctions and voodoo dolls and soaps and stuff like that. It says the love witch.
And but I think with the detective, that was natural.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the detective, because that's kind of where we're
I don't
at,
think there was really a spell with the detective either.
I disagree. I disagree. Just because it wasn't shown didn't mean it didn't happen.
I don't think there was.
Because I think at this point, because
it is reasonable to assume that all the men attracted to her were attracted by a love spell.
Well,
but at the same time, with the
I want to say that don't forget, at this point, the coven is helping her. And there is a massive spell that takes place in ritual. And I think this is the one that goes to Griff. This is my opinion, because it's post Richard, right? Because at this point, this is where the teacher's assistant goes to the cops and says, oh, I don't know where my professor is. They look into it. They find the witch bottle. They find dead Griff, all that stuff. They go, they find out it's a witch bottle, so they go to the witch store, they find out Elaine sells it, yada, yada, yada. Griff goes to interrogate Elaine and almost fucking immediately falls in love with her.
Yeah.
And I think that this is part of because there's different types of magic. So what we've seen so far were concoctions, we've seen herbs, we've seen, some different things like that. But this form of magic gets into some candle magic and gets into figurine magic and stuff like that, which becomes ethereal, which means that, he doesn't have to touch anything to be affected. So the universe is essentially performing the spell that you've created. These are inactive spells, if that makes sense. Like, you don't physically have to do anything. You just light the candle.
Passive.
Give the intent and it does it. And that's what I think that whole ritual was about. was her finally finding real love, things like that. Because yeah, I mean, he just goes so quick, and you know, like he just falls in love way too quick.
It was honestly hilariously quick. I laughed my ass off during that entire scene. It was pretty good.
I mean,
they're already horseback riding.
Yeah, Elaine's even lying. Like Elaine even lies and everything, and the dude's just like, "It's okay. I think I'm falling in love with you. It's fine."
Yeah.
And it's like, obvious that he knows she's lying.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
and so Elaine right away is like, "Well, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you." And you know that she thinks this is the man of her dreams, especially because it was foretold in that tarot card reading she did earlier. And she'd always told herself that if the Knight of Wands shows up in a reading, that would be the person she would be with. Here's the Knight of Wands, right? He shows up. And so she thinks, though, we remember the last card is the Three of Hearts, or the Three of Chalices, which in the tarot deck essentially usually is a breakup, like it's an end of love, like that's usually what that card represents. And
interesting.
So he's like, let's spend the day together tomorrow. And she's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. She's like, oh, once again, the cold reading. She's just like, you love animals, don't you? And he's like, yes, I do.
I love animals.
In fact, my friend happens to have some horses. And so they go fucking horseback riding, and apparently they decided to be twinsies, and they fucking wore the exact same fucking outfit, a button-up white shirt, khaki pants.
Oh, but it leads up. It leads up to the best.
Yes, it leads to the
pop-up Renaissance Festival.
But before we get to the pop-up Renaissance Festival, I want to talk about how that fucking horse was not having that scene.
Oh God, no!
Because obviously that horse is the type of horse that was trained simply off of treats, and every time a hand went near that horse, he's like, "Are we fucking eating? We eat?" And like I'm like, they're like, "Fuck it, that scene works fine. I only have so much of my dad's fucking 35 millimeters, so we're just gonna let fucking Milky White handle this. It's fine." But yeah, so they go.
I did kind of love that horse.
Oh, me too. But yeah, they hear this music, and immediately I go to Ren fairs all the time. I'm like, well, that sounds like fucking Renaissance fair music. And there just happens to be a fucking pop-up Ren fair
with all her friends,
her friends at his friend's property. We forget that this is his friend's property. But yeah, it's
something collusion.
Yeah, and it's literally just the folks from her coven, just essentially playing dress up is what they're doing.
Yeah,
and obviously playing their instruments.
I laughed so fucking hard because they show the minstrels. Two of them have flutes, and that's all the music you hear. Yet the guy with the lute still playing. Still playing a lute, not a goddamn lute in the song.
I was trying to find it in the song, and I was just like, "Oh, this is good." Oh,
and it was moments like these that I'm like, "Was this intentional? Is she making light? Is she
intentional?"
You know, this is where, or did she just not notice? She's like, "Oh fuck, I forgot to put a goddamn lute in this song," because she wrote the music,
so
right?
Fucking
and she's
funny,
like, "I just don't have time. I got a deadline. I got shit to do." You know,
I gotta admit, this entire scene, I thought it was straight up just riffing on 60s films.
Yes, making fun of Rennie's, like, for sure.
I thought it was just straight up, you know.
And the jester was so weird to me. Like, again, me too. I thought the fucking jester was going to be Jerry. Like, I really did, because he kind of had scraggly hair.
That would have been perfect.
But yeah, like, so they're there, and Griff is just like, all of a sudden in love, and I don't remember at what point, but I know for some reason, like, they were like,
this jock-ass motherfucker is like totally down for this Ren fair.
Yeah,
he is just so fucking into it.
And I think this was the night before, I can't remember, but where we have that scene where it's their minds, they're just like speaking via their minds, not to each other, but just thinking. And this is where he's like, I've never been in love before. I never wanted to be in love. I don't want to be in love. Love is stupid. Love is stupid. Love is stupid. And then he's in love. And
we've already seen a scene where he's hitting on one of his lower level
cops,
employees. One of the lower level cops.
Again, another free love
actively
kind of guy.
a sexual creature within his workplace, not even just the community.
Right. And even when he's with her, he's saying that, though his body language is saying. So that's what made me think, was this a memory? Is this something he had said and he's just laughing at himself for ever thinking that? I don't know, because like I said, this next day, there's no way that he's just genuinely in love. This is why I'm saying it's got to be a spell, because just like you said, here's this jock of a guy who is like, oh, neat, a Renaissance fair. Yes, let's.
Yeah.
And I also appreciate how bad the acting at the Ren Fair was, because this movie has shown that whenever the director wants to get a good performance out of the actors and have them be like real legitimate people, you get that performance. And these Ren Fair actors are so bad. Oh God, they're painfully bad, and they just focus on the extraordinarily terrible.
And they're
Ren
like,
Fair.
you know what, you guys so cute being in love, let's have us a wedding. We're gonna have us a mock wedding. So then there is this weird mock wedding and more music, and then they get married randomly.
When they get undressed, they get undressed.
Undressing scene.
Yes.
It's so good
about that.
Because Elaine, yeah, she'll be down for it. I get that. These are her friends. She's used to being in the nude with them. Makes sense. And then here is Jockman getting stripped by a bunch of guys going like, ha ha ha, yes, this is enjoyable.
Right, like the fucking seven dwarves and Snow White.
I don't know. I just like totally... I like I said, I think this is when it totally leaned into the whole corny 60s thing. You know, I mean, if you and Stefan can agree, when you watch a lot of these 50s, 60s horror movies, they do. I remember, well, hell, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman has this whole like musical production. Remember that, Stefan?
But really look at like I said, a lot of those British, Italian, and even especially Hammer films. I mean, look at some of those like Countess Dracula. Oh yeah. God, like, is that just like this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I mean, you know, like
the
thing I kept waiting for was like all the old lesbian vampire type things or witches that happened a lot during that time as well. I was surprised there was not any homage to that.
Yeah.
I expected her and Trish to totally do it later on.
Yeah, totally.
Honestly, in the scene where Trish finds out about everything, I really was kind of also expecting there to have been some like residual love magic, something fucky going on with the wig that would actually cause them to like come together and, oh, it turns out men weren't the answer all along. It was actually women.
I could see that, definitely.
Right. But yeah, essentially after all that, like they have like hand fasting and like they get these rings and they have this mock wedding, 2 mock weddings, but this one was with Griff and Elaine. You know, we then see Griff kind of getting yelled at, right, by his superior, basically telling him, hey, the fucking witches have been in this town a long time. You and your partner need to back the fuck up. Like, they are a power here that we can't fuck with. You need to abandon the pursuit of Elaine as a suspect. And then even his partner, who's all like, come on, let's talk about it. And he's like, no, fuck you, man. I'm not going to deal with it. Because his partner doesn't know at this point that he's in love with Elaine. But his partner even says, dude, look, the professor dude died of a heart attack, according to the superior. But we know that he was poisoned by devil's weed. Because we found that in the witch's bottle. We found that in his system. But
is that real? Devil's weed?
Probably. I've never heard of it, but that doesn't mean anything. Could be another name for something else.
Insert poison here.
Right. But the superior has also essentially said, no, he's died of a heart attack and that there was devil's weed growing naturally around there, that he was into hallucinogenics and stuff like that already. So whatever. And so he fucking punches his
that punch was my favorite part of the movie.
Because Griff is like, you're dumb, we gotta leave this alone. He's like, you're in love with her, aren't you? Out of the fucking blue. Bop. Boom.
And the cut on this punch is so fucking good. I loved it. Yes. It was so poorly done. Another one that I have to hope and pray was intentional, because that is my favorite part of this movie. I busted my gut on that scene.
Right. Well, you also found out, from I think his name was Steve, the partner there, that Elaine was married before, and that he died after they had gotten a divorce, and he was supposed to remarry, and he actually died of a drug overdose, though he was someone who didn't use drugs. That's also put on the table.
And so now we see that everyone in Elaine's love life has died.
It's died.
And
yes.
now it's just, when is Griff going to fall?
Yeah.
Right. Well, not even Griff. We're still wondering about Richard, right? And so we flip over to Trish being like, where my husband at? Where he at? Where my husband at? Where he at? And then, she's trying to find him. He's in the bathroom.
Why is the water running?
Why is the water running? So she kicks open the door. This motherfucker slit his wrist in the bathtub. He's been so obsessed with Elaine, and he
didn't even spell it beforehand. What a loser.
Motherfucker. Didn't even put pigs die or whatever fucking what a motherfucker.
Couldn't leave a message for his
not even
beloved Elaine.
Not even a note. But at this point, Trish already had suspected that he was sleeping around on her and stuff like that. Had even gone to Elaine and been like, he's sleeping around on me. I know he is. And Elaine's like, we gonna fuck that bitch up, whoever she is.
Oh God, Elaine was such a bitch during that scene. I fucking hated her.
Yep.
She's listening to her friend lose her mind about the fact that her husband is cheating on her. And Elaine is the one who is cheating with her husband.
Yeah.
Well, and then even worse, they meet up back at the fucking Victorian tea factory.
Yeah, that's what he was talking. Yeah.
And they're talking about, because now the roles are reversed.
There's 2 scenes of it.
Yeah.
One before the death, during the cheating stuff, and one after the death. Because, as Stefan was about to say, there's a role reversal. Now Elaine is in love, and Trish is in mourning. And this bitch won't look past herself and see her friend's pain. And she's just, oh, look at me. I'm so in love. Look
at this promise ring he gave me. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're married, but look at it. Isn't it amazing? And
Trish is like,
I'm gonna try it on. Which
look at this ring pop.
Do they here, try on my wedding? Isn't it neat? They just fucking try it on. Oh, that's what that feels like.
It's probably reserved for the Victorian tea house.
Right, which
the
by the way,
underground Victorian tea house.
The harpist is still rocking out, man.
Yeah.
And she sings at this point, and it's a really melancholy
She's
song.
got a good voice.
She's good. Yeah.
Oh,
she's good as shit. But anyways, Elaine is here's Trish crying that her husband's dead and that she knew he cheated, blah blah blah, and she's like, I gotta go. Even when Trish is like, we're reversed now, I'm sad and single, and now you have someone, and blah blah blah, Elaine's like, yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And also Elaine, throughout that entire conversation, is just dropping these truth bombs, in her opinion, about how, you should have been a better wife. You should have given him everything that he wanted.
Yeah. Way to rub it in, Elaine.
Right. I know. Right. Well, she leaves, and she leaves the ring behind, and Trisha's like, oh shit. I gotta
this was important to
this
Elaine.
Is where she busts out the cell phone, and where I'm like, all right, it's official. It's not the 60s. That was the moment for me where I was like, all right, it is officially modern times. And so either a ton of people are dressing weird, or this is just Elaine's idea of what life looks like, right? But anyway, so she calls her and she's like, hey bitch, I got your ring. I'm gonna come by and drop it off. I got a key, I'll just drop it off.
That's exactly how she phrases it too.
Yeah, pretty much, but as a Brit.
Hey
right?
bitch, got your ring.
Hello bitch, I got your fucking ring.
Hey, you dirty Tulsa.
Hey Tulsa, you remember when you let me wear your ring? It was on my stink finger. I need to wash it before I bring it back to you.
You bloody Burke.
So anyway, we see Trish going over to Elaine's house, because remember, she's friends with the lady that owns the house, so she has keys. And she goes in there and she's looking around and she's like, I'm just gonna be a peeping Tom, I'm just gonna go through some shit. And so she just starts wandering around and shit like that. And at first I thought she was already snooping, but I think she was just like, oh, where would be the best place to put this ring?
Yeah.
Goes into Elaine's bedroom.
I saw that entire scene as, I need to find a good place to find this ring. And also, well, since my viewpoint didn't work out,
Right.
let's see how Elaine lives, and let's see if I can actually learn anything from her.
And I did think that too, especially so we get there. She sits down at the vanity, right? And she's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna try on this lipstick. I'm gonna try on this. Okay, this lipstick's now. I'm gonna try on this eye wash or whatever the fuck it's called. Eyeshadow. Oh, sorry, guy liner. And then she's like, ooh, I'm gonna put on this wig. And so she puts on her wig, which, by the way, means Elaine's not wearing her wig at the time.
Which was also interesting, or she just, I think there's a scene where she has two. I'm not entirely certain.
I mean, there was one point I thought I saw she had a blonde wig, and I kept waiting for her to be blonde at some point, but
I kind of remember that too, her having a blonde.
I never saw that. It's maybe on the cutting room floor. But anyway, so next thing you know, this bitch like opens the drawer and finds panties and lingerie, and I'm like, are we about to see Trish in her skivvies? And we do.
Her knickers?
And her knickers. And we do. And this is again where I was like, oh shit, she's going to transform into a fucking sex witch. Like, this is what's going to happen.
Getting ready for that.
Right. And I'm like, she's got magic in her lipstick. She's got magic in her fucking eye wash or whatever the fuck it is. And she's got, all this shit. But no, Trisha's just like Daniel said, just trying to experience what it's like to be a little more...
Trying to evoke her.
Right, trying to evoke her to be a little more sex positive and like herself, because she's cute and she definitely looked banging in that makeup.
Here.
Go Trish. But yeah,
Trish the dish.
She's fucking around, and for some reason, she's just now noticing the 4 pictures on the bureau of all the men that have been murdered. We've got Jerry.
Trish is very unobservant.
Well, not murdered, but just her accoutrement, her menagerie. Entourage of men, so to speak.
Of dead people.
Not all of them are dead, because Griff's up there.
Well, that's
too.
true. Yeah.
But yeah, so you
Her
got your picture of
mausoleum?
Jerry. Yes, that's better. You got Jerry, you got Wayne, you got Griff, and then you got Richard. And she just goes, motherfucker. And immediately she knows to go to that top drawer to find the spells that had been put into place. This is where we find our wax figurines, which is kind of a voodoo shit right there. Amalgamations of other shit.
I did really want to ask you, Stefan, whether or not like that kind of humanoid representation is used.
Yes, there can be, especially you can create things called puppets that are essentially like puppets. They're similar to voodoo dolls. It's essentially a representation, whether it be of the god or goddess or of the person or yourself or things like that. Yes, wax figurines. There are a lot of candle magics that'll use a figure of a male that's a candle, so that I want to use love magic. I want to find a man, right? That shit happens. So yes, for the most part, yes, some of that is there. I also noticed that.
You ever use that on a man, Stefan?
Yes, his name is Lancewell.
Oh, don't know him.
Full name. It's full name. But yeah, definitely very interesting spell work. I saw what looked like to me to be Theban, which is like, an old school kind of witches alphabet that a lot of old guard or Alexandrians and some of those old school like to use, or Thelemic, which was very Aleister Crowley type stuff, Golden Dawn, OTO, stuff like that, which of course also is another bit. So when I was saying there were others like Anton LaVey's, that's what I was trying to think of, was like Crowley stuff, the OTO and Golden Dawn. There's a lot of that mixed in as well. But yeah, so she sees that, she opens it up, and she's like, what the fuck? Like she's only kind of like, she still loves her friend, so she's still like, can't be Elaine can't be it. And then she opens up the package, in which she finds a card with a picture with the two of them together, in which Richard says, oh, thank you for the happy birthday, I love you so fucking much. And Trish loses her fucking mind.
Oh yeah,
I am cheering for Trish throughout the rest of this scene. I'm so fucking ready for what happens next.
I don't know. Elaine's already
But Elaine comes in and sees her and is like,
stolen your
oh
heart.
shit, and grabs a fucking dagger. And fucking Trisha's like, Pink, get that shit out my face,
Yeah.
bitch. Like,
Yeah.
and Elaine's like, what are you
I know it's not much of a tussle, is it?
like? I'm like,
No, not at all.
doing? You're like this fucking badass, and you're letting Trish just like fucking annihilate you, like
So
throws her to the bed, like. And this is where I'm like, oh, they're gonna fuck now. This is where I'm like, oh, lesbian vampires, it's happening. Like
we
this
can
is
get on this. Oh baby.
like, but no, it doesn't happen. She's just like, you fucking bitch. Like Trish just fucks her up, dude. Like, it
Yeah.
was freaking fucking amazing. And
It's
Trish-
really interesting. Like, this does show that, like, Elaine went into witchcraft seemingly because it's a pseudo indirect method of dealing with her problems.
Mhm.
My read of that scene is that she really doesn't like direct confrontation, which is why she couldn't really talk to her original husband.
Right,
I forget
Yeah.
his name.
Jerry.
And Jerry.
Yeah.
And so, because of that desire to not really attack other people, she wants to go through magical means. She wants powers. She doesn't want to use what she already has.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Mhm.
it felt like really good characterization to have Elaine think about murdering her
Mhm.
and also really not be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, Trish takes off, takes the spell shit with her, and fucking runs off. And obviously, she gives it to Griff, because and we go back like to seeing more of the coven stuff, and I'm like, is this a separate ritual? Are they continuing the ritual? What's happening? But obviously, they're putting home this love spell with Griff. But we see Griff back at the burlesque bar. And
I would like to just jump back to the coven bit for a moment,
Mhm.
because we see a very old man who can't even squat down properly or kneel
Right.
down, just completely in the buff, and he is having the time of his fucking life.
Oh, yeah.
You
Oh,
go,
yeah.
old man.
You
Yeah.
go, old man.
Cock and balls and everything.
Speaking of old man, like once we're at the bar, we've got the bartender, which by the way, for a minute there, I thought was the dude from fucking Green Acres, like so much that I had to fucking look him up.
Oh my
Was
God.
not. Dude's not been in fucking anything. I mean, he's had like bit roles here or there, so he was nobody. But yeah,
Okay.
so there he's talking about like, yeah, we got these two new dancers, Moon and Star. Even the waitress is like, they're not even fucking dancing. What the fuck are they
Yeah.
doing? And they're
Yeah.
not, like, they're doing the weirdest fucking thing. Because you remember early on,
Mhm.
the high priest was telling the girls, hey, you need to learn how to dance and how to seduce men and blah blah blah. So obviously this is them learning how to seduce, and these fucking like businessmen are like fucking just throwing money at the
Yeah.
fucking
Mhm.
Doublemint twins up there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous, man. But anyways, like Elaine arrives at the bar, and that's when Griff confronts her, and he's like, the DNA came back. This is like everything connects you to Wayne's murder, and even like convinces her, yeah, you even helped make Richard commit suicide. Right. And that Elaine then says that this is just how she came throughout life. Her being a witch and doing magic isn't a fucking crime. They don't burn witches at the stake anymore. And all I did was magic. If they fucking died, that's their own problem. I didn't fucking stab anybody. Right. Like, she just says that. And, Griff is like, well, you're going to have to go to jail for the crimes you committed. So like, trespassing or something along those lines, some sort of like mundane fucking crime is basically what he's saying is, hey, you're still going to pay the price. It may not be as much, but it's going to be for something else. Since you can't set a bitch on fire anymore, and that even if they weren't murdered, you still have crimes that you committed. And then our dude, who we haven't talked about, who is basically at the basically lives at the fucking burlesque bar, is just basically like, I don't like witches.
He is a Moe Steiner lifer.
Yeah.
Like he
A
doesn't
witch
fit.
racist.
Yeah, a witch racist. Exactly. Like from the get-go, he's like, I don't like witches. Because, you know,
This is the part where I was like, this fucking escalated quickly because they all start fucking ganging on her.
Yeah.
right?
That's
Yeah,
just-
so,
Like the witch.
so that's what happened. Yeah, so your dude is like, burn the witch. Like, because, and then everyone's like, oh, we're burning witches now? Oh, wait, let's rape her too.
Yeah,
'Cause
look,
all of a
let's
sudden
rape her.
you just
Oh
see-
my
Let's burn
God.
witches.
Like, you just see pants coming off, and you're like,
she's
yeah.
hot.
And
Oh
so
my
I don't know
God.
if this is some sort of fucking take on the sex magic that was happening on the stage with the fucking Doublemint twins, if it had an adverse effect that it caused these fucking dudes to want to just beat the shit out of this girl and fucking rape
Or
her.
if it's just like a commentary on sheeple culture or something.
I guess. But
there's
I
a-
expected Griff to just let this happen. But no, all of a sudden Griff is the savior and Griff saves her. So I'm like, I'm confused, Griff. What do you do? Because then
I did
he grabs
expect
her, and
I
I
did
expect-
expect Griff to save her because like he is a cop. He's
Right.
there in the capacity of a cop. And
But
like,
my point is
you
that
do want
he-
per
I
Mhm.
expected him to save her, but take her to jail. He does not. He takes her
yes.
to
that
her
is-
apartment.
That's because he's not.
Griff
two-
deserves
he's
everything that happens to him.
He's not two-dimensional, Stefan. There's a lot to Griff that you don't get,
Yeah,
and I love him.
yeah. Well, he got
He
his
is a
ass beat.
fully realized
In the
character.
meantime, he got his fucking ass beat. But they get inside her apartment, and she's like, "I just love you so much, Griff," and he's just like looking like fucking.
Yeah,
shit
He
beat
is
out
a
of him,
dead
and he's
fish.
Angry.
And he
Like-
is angry as a
Yes,
motherfucker.
he's angry as
Ooh, he's
fuck,
pissed.
man. Like, and I think he's realized at this point he got taken. Like, I think he realizes he
Mhm.
finally put two and two together and realized that he was part of this fucking thing she was talking about, and he got affected by it. And so now he'll never know whether or not he actually had feelings for her or not.
Yeah.
I think that's the look of defeat that's on his face when we constantly see him as she's trying to make him the standard concoction, of course. Like,
yeah.
in her fucking cup.
This will make you feel better.
I feel
Yeah.
like we need to just mention the chemistry set for a moment before we just
yes.
drop
Oh,
it entirely and
yeah,
never
yeah.
talk about it.
Weird that was.
It's
Like,
so
I
fucking funny.
forgot that earlier we see her have a full fucking laboratory set up,
Yeah.
like, and she's in a fucking like,
And
she's
it's
got
the
a lab coat
shittiest
on.
laboratory ever.
Well,
and
it's
it's the
fucking
shittiest
fog
lab coat
machines
ever.
and fucking
Yeah, well, it's
dry
just-
ice, like
Yeah, full
She
Dr.
has this
Frankenstein.
deep V-neck
with fucking
and she
Kool-Aid.
has the
Fucking
Yeah.
lab
vials
coat
and
on.
shit. Yeah, I forgot all
It's
about
just
that.
like
It's so
this
ridiculous.
lab coat does nothing for you. It might make you feel more powerful, and I get that. Lab coats are dope as hell, and
Yes.
everyone should wear one at least once. You do feel powerful.
Oh
while
no,
wearing
I
a
worked
lab
at
coat.
the Kentucky
is
Science Center for
legitimately great.
2.5 years, and we had to wear lab coats all the time, and it was tight. Like,
I need to go get one.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm with you. It's just so out of place. I'm
she
like,
is not
as a
properly
witch-
utilizing that lab coat.
Yeah, as a witch, she didn't need that whole chemistry. It was just so ridiculous. I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot. But anyway, so she gets her concoction together and has this beautiful silver chalice. She hands that to him, and he's just sitting there, and she's just kissing on his face, and she's just like, "I love you so much." That he realizes that he was correct when telling her that no man can ever love her enough. She actually kind of then at this point, because he's kind of angry, and he lets her know that you're never gonna get what you want.
Mhm.
And he lays back on the bed, and I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know if he was gonna get naked, if he was gonna touch himself, or what. But I realized it was a layback of defeat. Like, once you realize, you're like, oh, he's just defeated and he's done, and he's gonna sit in his fucking stink for a minute. But what
The entire time I'm sitting there going like, oh, he's fucking dead.
Oh,
He's actually
yeah.
dead.
And I didn't know because he didn't drink, because he threw the chalice on the ground. And so I was like, I don't know how this motherfucker's guy. Well, she goes and grabs her ritual knife, which is called an athame, or some people call it a thame or a thami or whatever. I've always called it an athame, but it's a ritual knife that's used in circle and ritual, basically to cut things when you need it. Not humans, but sometimes you need fucking bread cut. Sometimes you need this cut. It's also uses as a wand, can be used like a wand to direct energy, things like that. Just wanted to put that out there. So, but anyways, like she fucking pulls out this knife and just stabs his ass 3 times. And I was hoping it was only 3 because that was the tarot card that got re-referenced, which was the 3 of chalices, which is a heart with 3 Athames swords stabbed into it. Actually, not the 3 of chalices. I'm an idiot. It's a 3 of swords, which is why there's 3 swords. But yeah, she stabs his ass 3 times, and the look on his fucking face is the best. Like, I'm just like, you didn't expect this woman to kill you?
I know. Griff deserves everything that happened to him.
Everything.
He was a stupid motherfucker.
He's just laying on the bed like, whatever you're gonna do.
Oh my god.
But Daniel, I love him.
Oh man.
He was misunderstood.
I also
Justice
So,
for Griff.
another question for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything within Wiccan culture about prophecy through painting? Because
Yeah, because
she
the
does
painting.
paint
Yes,
this scene
yes.
very early in the movie.
Yes,
I wouldn't
yes.
say specifically Wicca. I would just say prophecy in general. Like, obviously, she's prophetic and she doesn't realize it.
I would probably answer you that this is a film and it's all make believe.
It's all make them up.
You need to get.
And it's foreshadowing.
You need to get your head out of your ass.
Yeah,
It's the real world. Okay.
Here's the thing. I'm really, as a Christian, I'm really excited to learn about this kind of stuff. And when I see
Wait.
weird shit happening-
You're a Christian?
Yeah, some motherfucker. I'm a Catholic. I'm Roman Catholic. I am literally a choir boy.
Mind blown.
Sup? Shalom,
Wow.
bitch.
She'll love
Oh.
See, that's your tagline. I love when you do that. But yeah, so anyways, like I don't want Lance to his head to explode, so we'll just move on. But yeah, like so the paintings and stuff
Another
like that, which,
comment to
by the
explode
way,
Lance's head later.
she does some great paintings. But yeah, this is that painting of her kneeling over a man in a white shirt, just like he had when he was there on the bed, with a knife in her hand that's bloody, and in her other hand, the heart that's ripped out of this serrated man. And she's realized with
One
Griff
moment.
dead at this
My
point.
internet connection is unstable. Testing. Is my audio still okay?
Yeah,
Warning
you
that
sound
my
fine.
interconnection is fantastic. Just
Yep.
didn't want to repeat.
So she realizes that with
So,
Griff
painting.
dead, that life has imitated art and matches her painting, which, like Lance was, both of you saying, was this prophetic thing. And then the ending, which is her just kind of, is she crazy? Did she mean to do it? Is it what? But she's smiling, and then she just imagines them back at their fucking Renaissance wedding. And you know, like she's obviously dreaming that none of this happened, that in fact they did get married and things like that, and fade to black.
Yeah, see, this is the only part of the film I didn't like was the ending. I just thought it left a lot to be desired.
Well, what it told
Personally.
me is that she flipped back to the delusional side of herself, that she lost, she went essentially full feminist, right, and killed the male enemy in her life or whatever, and yet she flips back, essentially back to the very beginning, in my opinion too. But when she got first with Jerry,
I don't know. I just didn't like this ending. I didn't feel any kind of resolve, which I'm not one of these people. I don't always need resolve, you know, at the end of a film. But
The ending is not paramount.
yeah,
But it was a little weak. I kind of sat there going like, is that supposed to be another parody element?
but
Is this
because
supposed to be
those old
funny?
horror movies, they just end weird like that. There's no like real resolution in a lot of these old movies. Like they had these twists just to be twists, like, you know, they would kind of almost leave in the middle of a story, so to speak. Like nothing really resolved. Like you know, it shows the main character trying to solve something, but nothing ever gets solved, and it's like, oh, okay, bye. But I did want to say here,
So
go ahead.
it felt like an homage.
Right, absolutely.
It just felt like an homage.
100%. Especially the way it faded out. everything was the homage. And speaking of that, here on Wikipedia, I've pulled up, it talks about the themes here. It says the Love Witch uses the figure of the witch as a metaphor for women in general, as both an embodiment of men's fears of women and of women's own innate powers of intuition, and as mothers and sorceresses. The lead character of the film is a young woman who uses magic to make men love her. Her character is an examination of the femme fatale archetype, and the film embraces the camp of 1960s and 70s horror, examining issues of love, desire, narcissism, all through a feminist perspective, because Anna Biller is a feminist filmmaker whose take on cinema is influenced by feminist film theory. In fact, her film she did right before this one looks very similar in terms of like themes and stuff like that. I mean, you see burlesque dancers and some things like that. Let me see what that was called here, because I want to bring it up. Here it is. It's called Viva. And Viva came out in 2007, but the plot concerns a 1970s suburban housewife who is dragged through the worst excesses of the sexual revolution. So basically her dealing with horrible men in her life. So Anna Biller, you know, we're not all assholes, and Lance will love you.
Yeah, sure.
He will. But yeah, that's the movie. I mean, you know, there's a couple other things we could talk about here. You know, just kind of talking, it says, while writing the script for Love Witch, Biller was reading a lot of self-help books. And one particular piece of advice that stuck out to her was that if a woman wants to keep a man around, she should love him less than he loves her, which was the parallel between the advice and the female characters in classic cinema who always loved someone to death. And so she decided to create the character Elaine along the same vein. And, you know, and obviously says Biller studied a lot about witchcraft. And so she even tried to put in some of her own witchcraft practice, which is why I said it's okay. Like, in fact, that's mostly what I am now. We call it eclectic. It's kind of pulling from a number of different things and making your own. So
fair enough.
But yeah, I love the aesthetic. I love the idea. It could definitely looks 1960s Technicolor. I think they could have degraded the film even a little bit more and really gave it that full-on look. I thought the actors portrayed.
I'm kind of glad they didn't do that though, because I was complaining about this the other day, because it seems like everybody is trying to do that whole grindhouse thing.
Sure.
You know, and it's starting to kind of I mean, it's been old for a while, but and the other side of it is I as much as I think they could have done that, I'm glad they didn't, because it's a reminder that this movie actually takes place in the present. And so had you done that, it would have really taken away from that. It's just really, really interesting. The actors also played all their parts in like that classic presentational acting style. You know, it was all very, very stylized.
Really good job.
So you could tell every bit was purposeful. So like any piece of like what you might think is bad acting was done on purpose to reflect that time, because that was still the 60s, and especially British stuff. It was that time where like the stage and the screen were simply the same, right?
Yeah.
And
I have to go back to Trish, because all of the characters that are bound by the movie's logic act like they're in a 60s, 70s film. Trish wasn't really bound by the movie's logic, and so she felt like a normal person throughout most of the film until she starts being bounded by the movie's logic, and then she started being a little weird, being a little unhinged. The direction was wonderful.
This movie's done very well. Has a 95% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, as well as a number of other critics. It's done really, really well. Metacritic has it at 82 out of 100. What was the here?
Funnily
Love
enough,
Witch is even
Voodoo
listed
has it as a 6 out of 10.
As a 6 out of 10? No way, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Love Witch
it's a good movie.
Has listed number 41 on Rotten Tomatoes list of top 100 horror movies. So of horror movies ever made, Rotten Tomatoes considers this number 41. It also made
wow.
Rolling Stone's list of top 10 horror movies of 2016. It's won a number of different awards for costuming and all of that stuff. There was even like a mention for a minute that they were trying to get Anna Biller nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. Obviously, that never happened, but there was a big movement for that in the industry because people really loved it. So, but yeah, great film. Again, 2016, The Love Witch by Anna Biller. Definitely recommend everybody check this out. So Daniel, something that we do on this show is we rate the film as a horror movie and as a regular movie out of 5 stars. So we'll do that. I'll go ahead and go first. As a horror movie, I would say it was probably about a 3.5, just because there wasn't really any scary. There wasn't a ton of like. There was absolutely no jump scares at all. Nothing's like that. No. But it definitely gets 3.5 though, because it definitely pays homage to those old Gothic style horrors that were more slow moving, that make you think and just makes you feel a certain way, right? That's that for horror. For me, for a regular movie though, I actually give it a 4. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. I loved the stylized stuff. There's some goofy things, but again, I'm with Daniel. I think that the director did it on purpose, and if so, kudos to her. It worked. She found a great way to make everything goofy while at the exact same time being very serious. And I really appreciated that. The cinematography was absolutely phenomenal. Just absolutely just reminiscent of those old shots, even like that homage to the birds in the opening scene with the glare in the rear view and stuff like that. Absolutely love that. So that's mine. So 3.5 for horror, 4 for regular movie.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm not trying to like cheat or anything by this, but honestly, on both your ratings, I have to agree. I mean, I do.
I need to start just letting you go first.
Yeah. I'm sure egotistical ass always has to go first.
That's Lord. We're brothers, man. That's how it rolls. We just think the same.
But yeah, I mean, I completely kind of said everything I was going to say. But yeah, as a horror movie, which honestly, with a lot of horror movies, and I'm not trying to say this like, oh, I'm so tough, but horror movies don't really scare me anymore. They haven't for a long time. But as you said, just paying homage to that whole 60s, 70s, kind of exploitation, I really dug that, and I really like that. As a film, I thought it was just a really solid film. I would love this even if it didn't have it wasn't under the genre horror.
Yeah,
I thought
the hell out of it.
Yeah, I thought this was just a really good film.
Look, I could sit down and rewatch it right now, not just as like a cult thing where we could make fun of it and quote it, which we will. But just because I really enjoyed it. I love the characters and I loved Elaine Parks. She's an amazing actress and I love her.
Yeah. Same here.
What about you, Daniel?
So this is where I get to blow your guys' minds once again and say that horror is my least favorite genre of movie.
Why did we have him on? What the fuck?
You invited him.
Oh, God.
So, I haven't seen much horror, and I'll be honest, I kind of don't even consider this movie a horror movie. I do agree that it's like a 4-star movie. It's really good at what it's done.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing that was horrifying in my mind was, I guess if I showed this to Ma, she would say, oh, Satanism, and that's terrifying. But as a modern man with a Catholic mother who is also a Reiki master, I don't give a shit about that stuff.
Hey, I too am a Reiki master. I get it.
Yeah, I was raised Baptist,
so like
so.
I was raised
There
Catholic
is
and I became
nothing-
a Wiccan.
there is nothing in the movie that I found horrifying so much.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, all stuff isn't my aesthetic, so I was legitimately uncomfortable during a lot of those Wiccan scenes because I just had no experience with it.
Mhm.
And so, in that way, I guess I could say that it was horrifying, but I just didn't see this as a horror movie. A good movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's
So,
completely understandable.
I don't know that I can give it a proper horror movie star. And just so back when I was 10, the reason why I
Oh my
dislike
God.
horror movies.
We're gonna get a whole fucking back.
had happened was
Yeah.
So what happened was, I watched the Van Helsing movie, like the 2000, and I got terrified of vampires for literal decades. Oh no!
Look, mine was Christopher Lee.
So like when you
Dracula,
guys
and
invited
I
me
get
onto
it,
this, I was laughing my ass off, going like, "These guys know nothing about me. Oh,
You
I'm
do-
a good
you do a
foil to
podcast!
everything that they're doing."
You do a podcast
Yeah.
on SCPs on the Fearscape Media.
SCPs are great. There is a disconnect between SCPs and movies in the visual art and auditory medium.
No,
There
and
are SCPs that have like these great soundtracks to them that are fucking wonderful as horror soundtracks that I cannot listen to.
No,
It freaks me out too
I get it
much.
because when you and I first started working together, Daniel, I had mentioned how much SCPs reminded me of Lovecraftian elements, and you're like, I really have never read. I don't know really anything about Lovecraft, and I'm like, what? The SCP is basically
Yeah,
Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Lovecraft, but I've never taken the time to go back and read the mythos.
So, yeah.
I am
All right,
super
well-
surprised that I agree with you guys so much about this movie and how much I enjoyed this movie.
Well, because that's
because,
why
like-
we like horror, is because it's fun. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, and yes, some horror we do like it takes it very seriously, it's very dramatic and things like that. But I think Lance and I can both say we love the campy fucking.
Oh,
black
love.
comedy.
Yeah, we
God, I
ain't
love
talking about the tent, baby. We love camp.
I love camp.
Oh yeah, I am shocked by how much I enjoyed this movie and shocked by how well I resonate with your guys' opinions of
Well,
this
good.
movie.
Let this be a gateway drug into
Yep.
horror.
Yep.
All right. Well, we should probably start getting out of here. Did anybody have any final thoughts before we roll?
I think I need to piss off Lance one more time. This
no.
was the most sexualized movie that I did not find sexy at all.
Okay.
You just offended me.
Yeah.
Elaine Parks is a goddess.
It's time to go.
I think when you had your circumcision, it cut off your whole dick.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh man. Right.
That's a Catholic. I guess you're a goddamn priest.
Yeah. I guess you're a eunuch. But let's hawk your
It was
shit.
just-
Yeah, hawk your shit. And you, sir, you can go stand in the fucking corner, Daniel, and think about what you've done while we wrap this fucking show up.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me. My apologies.
All right. Well, make sure you guys listen to Memories of Cain and SCP Podcast on the Fearscape Media Network. You can go to fearscapemedia.com and go check it out. This show is absolutely amazing. It's monthly. When does it come out?
It comes out the second Wednesday of every month.
Second Wednesday of every month. That's right.
Yes.
So check that out. But again, go stand in the fucking corner.
Go stand in that fucking corner.
And with that, dear friends, we come to the end of another deliciously diabolical episode of Misters of the Dark. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you to the Fearscape Media Network, and thank you to Corey Adams and Ashley Jones Adams for our musical theme.
Stefan, before you finally cross the border, I feel like I should show you something.
Ooh, is it a wedding gift? Oh, I must say, though, Lance, I expected something more than just a simple Wikipedia article.
Just read the damn thing.
Okay, The Love Witch, 2016. We already went over this in the movies, a horror tragedy film. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yes, keep reading.
And then it's starring Samantha Robinson.
Yeah, Stefan, it's just a film. There really isn't any Love Witch.
Wait. No. No. It's not true. It's impossible.
Now just calm down, Stefan.
It's not true. It's not true. It's not true.
Stefan, get that Cupid arrow away from Mr. Doremus. They are for loving, not for maiming.
Yeah.
Oh, now look what you've done.
All those damn potions wasted. All that time, all that energy, all those nude photographs.
First of all, ew. But, Stefan, don't get so torn up. You know what they say, it's better to have loved than lost, or some kind of bullshit. I don't.
I suppose you're right.
Of course I am, champ. Now, if you'll excuse me, going to go grab a mop to clean up what's left of our young Mr. Doremus.
Oh, Lance, you're always looking out for me. But before we go, dear friends, I'll leave you with this. It's not necrophilia if you're both dead. Good night.
Where's the power washer?